Good afternoon. It is Sunday, February 28th. We are a month away from Major League Baseball. And this week we are going to preview the AL Central of this edition of the Iman Report. It is you can please be kind to hit that subscribe button and give this channel a big like. I'll do like I usually do with my previews. I'll go from 5th place to who I think is going to win the division. In the AL Central, these three teams could all finish somewhere between 3rd and 5th place. These three teams are in the middle of rebuilds. I think who's going to finish last is probably going to be, I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers. Tigers bringing in A.J. Hinch as their new manager this year. Also, there's a good chance that Miggy Cabrera could be going to DH full-time this year. Certainly Cabrera is going to have some competition at first base this year with Renato Nunez as a non-roster invite. So we'll see how Nunez, you got Joey Wentz and Alex Faedo maybe later in the season. Second base, of course, Jonathan Schoop. Schoop, of course, going to be the power of this lineup. Third base, Yamir Candelario. And also you could see more Isaac Paredes at third at the hot corner this year. Another youngster getting more time in the show this year is Willie Castro. Castro definitely showing he's got power with the bat. He's got some pop and will be huge in this rebuilding year. Your outfield's going to be Robbie Grossman, Jacoby Jones, Nomar Mazara, Victor Reyes, and Akil Badu. And then you got Harold Castro competing, and so Castro could give competition. But this is also and you got Nico Goodrum doing utility this year. Rotation is likely going to be Matthew Boyd. We'll see what happens. If Boyd can finally piece it all together this year, maybe Boyd does not finish in a Tigers uniform this year and gets flipped. You've got Spencer Turnbull, who's starting to look like an ace. Jose Urena, journeyman, so he's probably going to we'll see how he does. You got Michael Fulmer, another guy that could potentially get flipped at the deadline if all things go right for Fulmer. And then you got Daniel Norris rounding out the rotation. Norris, but Norris trying to prove himself. He could be a swing man this year. And you got two top prospects who will likely start the year in AAA in Casey Mize and Tariq Skubal. They will definitely get a big look in spring training this year. Your bullpen will be composed of Erasmo Ramirez, Tyler Alexander, Derek Holland, Jose Cisnero, Joe Jimenez, Buck Farmer, Gregory Soto, and Brian Garcia. There is a really good chance the Tigers will start the year with closer by committee. But this year is a shift of culture for Detroit, as Detroit going more in analytics mode with A.J. Hinch taking over. This is maybe A.J. Hinch's chance of redemption after that scandal in Houston. I don't expect a lot of wins for Detroit, but I expect a lot of development in Detroit, and maybe we see if all things go right in the wrong way, that is, Detroit could lose 100 games this year, and I'm kind of going to say they win about 65 games. Ceiling's probably somewhere around 70. Floor, I think, will be around 60 games. So I think they will be near the cellar. They'll lose close to 100 games this year. That's where I've got Detroit, but they are bringing in the right guy to rebuild this team in A.J. Hinch. Hinch knows a thing or two about tanking. 4th place, I kind of went back and forth between the Indians and the Royals on who's going to finish 4th, and I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals. Royals bring back quite a bit of their old of their old World Series roster. You've got Greg Holland coming back to the Royals this year. You've actually got also Wade Davis, Greg Holland returning to the Royals this year, looking for one last chance to save their career. At catcher, you've got Salvador Perez and Cam Gallagher, and of course, and also Mybris Vioria. Vioria and Gallagher are out of options in AAA. So it would come down maybe to who can sneak through waivers at this point. First base, you got Carlos Santana. Santana definitely brings some pop into the Royals lineup. And you got Ryan O'Hearn. And O'Hearn could probably end up in the outfield if nothing else. Nicky Lopez playing second base. Lopez is probably going to be a good Gold Glover candidate this year. Hunter Dozier is back in Kansas City. And as they lose Maikel Franco, Maikel Franco was non-tendered. Dozier regressed, but they are looking for a bounce-back year out of Hunter Dozier. Adalberto Mondesi, the son of Raul Mondesi. Mondesi is definitely a guy to watch, possibly a Rookie of the Year candidate in 2021. A lot will come down if Mondesi can cut down on the strikeout rate this year. And then Hanser Alberto will play in the utility role. Of course, he got a great outfield with Andrew Benintendi, Nick Heath, Whit Merrifield, Michael Taylor. So definite, and you got Jorge Soler at DH this year. And then you got a fairly a mix of rookies and mix of youngsters and veterans in the starting rotation. Brad Keller, who could be the ace. You've got Danny Duffy, Brady Singer, Mike Minor, and Chris Bubic. Irvin Santana, a guy to watch in spring training. He is a non-roster invite. Santana could actually end up pitching out of the bullpen as a swingman, if nothing else. And they've got more guys, and believe it or not, they've got more guys down in AAA that are nearing Daniel Lynch, Jackson Kowar, Carlos Hernandez. They are stacked with young pitching in Kansas City. And Kansas City could be rotating guys who have options between the minors and the show. Bullpen, Josh Stalmont, Scott Barlow, Tyler Zuber, Jacob Junis, Greg Holland, Jesse Hahn, Kyle Zimmer, and Wade Davis. Junis could end up being the guy that could end up being the closer, if not Wade Davis. Wade Davis could start the year as closer, or the Royals could easily go closer by committee to start the year. Kansas City, I think, will see some improvement this year. Best case scenario, they finish third. Worst case scenario, they finish in the basement. I think Kansas City will probably win somewhere between, I would say, 68 to 74 games. 68 being the floor, I'm going to say 75 possibly being the ceiling. They could get closer to 500 this year. If all things go right, Kansas City finishes third place. If all else goes wrong, third. I think my verdict is I'm going to say 70 wins for the Kansas City Royals. They finish fourth, but they will be a team that is trending up going into 2022. Third place, the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland, a team that is unfortunately going through the pains of small market baseball. They lose Clevenger. They've lost Santana. But the Tribe at this point This is a team that is in transition, and this team really could go either direction this year in Cleveland. Of course, this could also be the final years of Terry Francona. Francona could be nearing retirement at this point of his career. But they did lose Lindor, they lost Carrasco, they've lost Brad Hand. So this is a team that is looking like they are heading towards a rebuild, a mini rebuild at this point. At catcher, you've got Roberto Perez, who is a Gold Glover, and you got Austin Hedges as the backup. That is a good 1-2 combo in the squad. You've got Bobby Bradley at first base. Jake Bowers and Josh Naylor could also be competing for first base. You got a good second baseman in Cesar Hernandez. You still got Jose Ramirez at the hot corner. Andres Jimenez could be the guy that could fill the shoes of Francisco Lindor at short. Franmil Reyes, the DH. Mike Freeman will likely roll out in the utility role. You've got Eddie Rosario in the outfield, Josh Naylor, Daniel Johnson, Oscar Mercado, Jordan Litko, and Ahmed Rosario. So you could see a lot of platooning in the outfield as of this year. And it could be a revolving door at starting pitching this year. Shane Bieber likely will be the ace. But the big question with Shane Bieber is, will the Indians flip Shane Bieber at the deadline? You still got Zach Plesac. Plesac's got Aaron Civale. You've got Tristan McKenzie and Cal Quantrill. You got Logan Allen, Scott Moss, Adam Plutko, who could potentially be... Plutko could more likely be the swing man this year. Sam Henches, Trevor Stephan, Juan Carlos Mejia, and Jordan Humphreys. So you could really see a revolving door in the Cleveland rotation this year. In the bullpen, it'll be James Karinchak. You got Emmanuel Clace, Nick Whitgren, Phil Maton, Kyle Nelson, Oliver Perez, Adam Plutko, and Brian Shaw. Karinchak could be the guy that likely ends up being the closer to start the year. But Francona could also go closer by committee to start the year. Who do I have? Where do I have Cleveland this year? Best case, third place. Worst case, they finish last. This is definitely a team in flux. And this team could really go either way. I think 81 wins is possibly their ceiling. Floor could be 65. That's how much of a swing could be in Cleveland this year, with all the changes going with the Indians. Are they a playoff team? No. But 500 would be a moral victory for the Indians. I kind of think Cleveland's going to finish around... I'm going to give them about 75 wins. 75, 76 wins is where I've got Cleveland, third place. And there is a possibility we see more players get flipped at the trade deadline in Cleveland as they continue the rebuild in Cleveland. Now the two teams who are going to contend for the AL Central, these will definitely be... One will likely be a wild card. One will likely win the division. Who is going to be the wild card? Drum roll, please. I'm going with the Minnesota Twins. Twins rotation is stacked. It's definitely going to be a horse race this year between the Twins and the White Sox to win the AL Central this year. The question mark is going to be batting for Minnesota this year. Catcher, you've got Garver, you've got Jeffers. There could be a good chance the Twins could be looking to acquire a better guy in the squat at the trade deadline. First base, Miguel Sano. Sano definitely got some pop. Jorge Polanco, good defensive second baseman. Josh Donaldson, can Josh Donaldson stay healthy this year? That is going to be the key if Minnesota wants to make a run this year, is going to be the health of Josh Donaldson. But if injuries continue to persist for Donaldson, Arise could be the guy that could end up in the hot corner. Shortstop, Andrelton Simmons. Simmons will likely get majority of the reps at short. You got Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, Jake Cave, Brent Rooker, 4 guys. Then you got Alex Kriloff, who could start in the minors. But these are 5 guys that definitely are looking to make a dent in the outfield. Arise and Williams Astudillo will be in the utility. Nelson Cruz, your DH. But this is one of, I think, the best rotations in the show this year. Kenta Maeda, Jose Barrios, Michael Pineda. If Pineda can get back to being the old Pineda, this could be a really great rotation. J.A. Happ. And rounding up your 5, Matt Shoemaker. Oh, could you imagine if Matt Shoemaker can finally stay healthy this year? That is one good rotation. And you got guys in the minors with Jordan Balozovic and Joan Duran. It should injuries come in. Bullpen, you got Taylor Rogers, Alex Colomb, Tyler Duffy, Hansel Robles, Jorge Alcala, Cody Stashik, Caleb Thalbar, and Randy Dobnik. They have definitely bolstered that bullpen this year. That is going to be huge down the stretch. With Daniel Colomb and Derek Law, guys that could be probably starting AAA, and guys who have kind of been washed in the show looking to find their magic. But I think Minnesota will at least be a wildcard team this year. Ceiling is they win the Central. Floor for wins, 85. Ceiling, 95. I'm going to say 88 wins for the Twins this year. I definitely think this rotation is going to win a lot of games for Minnesota. The bullpen is what will determine if they are in the wild card this year or if they win the Central outright. Now, who's your Central winner? Drum roll, please. The Chicago White Sox. This is fine. The rebuild is over in Chicago. This is the year the Southsiders will win the AL Central this year. At catcher, you've got Yasmani Grindal, Jonathan Lucroy, and Zach Collins. So you could see a 3-man catcher. And also this year, the White Sox are welcoming Tony La Russa as their new manager. Jose Abreu, no question, at first. Nick Madrigal at second. Could Madrigal finally be the guy that can finally get some pop in his bat? Tim Anderson at short. Anderson, one of the top shortstops in the show. Third base, Yoan Moncada. How does Moncada do now that he's healthy? Eloy Jimenez in the outfield. Luis Robert. Adam Eaton in the right field. Adam Engel. Andrew Vaughn, likely your designated hitter. But we'll see if Vaughn can make the show or not. Utility, Leroy Garcia. Definitely a murderer's row of starting rotations this year. Lucas Giolito. Dallas, Keuchel, Lance Lynn, Dylan Cease, Carlos Rodon. That is definitely a starting rotation to counter another lethal starting rotation. But Kopech, can he stay healthy? Garrett Crotchet, you've got Reynaldo Lopez. Three guys that could likely end up pitching out of the bullpen doing long relief this year. And they get one of the top closers this year in the offseason in Liam Hendricks. They got Liam Hendricks, followed by Aaron Bummer, Garrett Crochet, Evan Marshall, Cody Hewer, Matt Foster. So Kopech and Lopez could likely, and Jace Fry will join the bullpen at some point. So we'll see how Lopez and Kopech can handle relief duty this year. Those are definitely two guys that can eat innings for the White Sox. This is a very loaded, talented roster this year. They are going to win the AL Central this year. No doubt about it. Their floor is going to be about 89 games. Ceiling's around 102 games. I think they're going to win about 96 games this year. They win the Central. And happy days are coming to the south side of Chicago. That's your winner. Next week, we will preview the AL West, which could be a very competitive division this year. Everybody have a good Sunday and stay awesome, stay masked.